Good evening and welcome to the API, a program produced, presented and aired Tuesdays and Thursdays by the Agency for Public Information. We keep you up to date with all the latest developments in government's policies and projects. On today's program, the API visits the site of the Hope Bridge in Vermont for a progress report on its construction. The UWI Open Campus adds another suite of programs to its lineup. We'll chat with the head of the Open Campus, Mrs. Deborah Dalrymple, and the marketing assistant, Ronnie Daniel. And as usual, we'll end with an IDC update. The details to these stories when we return, but here's Keisha Woodley with Newswatch.
Good evening. Welcome to Newswatch. I am Keisha Woodley. The Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS, in collaboration with USAID and UNICEF, is currently hosting a training session for risk assessment and mental health screening in the juvenile justice programs in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The training is being held at the Sunset Shores Conference Room and concludes tomorrow. Program Officer in the Juvenile Justice Reform Project at the OECS Commission, Lindell Archibald, urged participants to take the information and build on it, and not to forget about it when the project ends.
We need to be able to utilize risk assessment tools. And we're here today for the next 4 days to understand what has happened with St. Vincent, who is a pilot in implementing this risk assessment and mental health screening tool. Unfortunately, we could not do it in every single member state. So the capacity is being built here, and we expect and anticipate that as each and every other member state seek to roll it out, if we need any further assistance, we can definitely call on our consultants, but also seek to guidance from St. Vincent, who has taken the policy documents from what obtained in the US, modified it for their circumstances, and to roll out the tools in the next couple of months.
In his keynote address, Minister of Social Development, Family and Youth, Honorable Frederick Stevenson, said the government and the Ministry of National Mobilization is proud to pilot the Juvenile Justice Risk Assessment and Mental Health Screening Toolkit Development Project.
I am a little saddened sometimes of a seemingly worrying trend that has now begun to show its ugly heads in some of our schools. We've had since this year, we've had 2 young children consuming the deadly poison Ramoxone. It is my hope that this 4-day workshop would seek to address some of those issues. It is sad because children who have died are 13 and 14 years, and it speaks volumes. It says to us that maybe all the good that we have done are not reaching far and wide enough.
Sessions included how to conduct risk assessment and training in mental health screening. Recently, the Ministry of National Mobilization held a Child Protection Conference at the Methodist Church Hall. Conference highlights included the child protection system in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, child abuse reporting protocols and procedures, and the foster care program. In labor matters, the Labor Department within the Ministry of National Reconciliation and Labor is spearheading a refresher course in conciliation, mediation, and negotiation skills. The opening ceremony of the workshop took place yesterday at the Telecommunications Conference Room. Labor Commissioner Nerissa Gittins said one of the mandates of the Labor Department is to maintain good labor relations. ILO Senior Specialist for Social Dialogue and Labor, Reina Pritzer, stated that the Labor Department of the ILO office in Trinidad and Tobago is pleased to collaborate with St. Vincent and the Grenadines on this conciliation course.
These 4 days will be intensive work. I want to announce it from the start. But it also will equip you with tools that you can immediately use at different levels of negotiations. At the workplace, of course, but also any other negotiations in your daily life. At home, with family, with friends, with colleagues, and why not with your boss?
In his opening remarks, Minister of Labor, Honorable Maxwell Charles, expressed gratitude to the ILO Caribbean office for responding to the call to assist with the training course.
Social dialogue must always be something that is active. Our national development depends on a healthy industrial climate, and we ought not to wait until there's a crisis before we put our skills into practice. You know, if we work together, we would see each other or one another not as adversaries, but as partners for the common good of this great nation.
Finally, on Newswatch, Code 13, a film production company based in New Orleans, USA, will be in St. Vincent and the Grenadines this weekend to hold auditions for a new movie. The movie, which is entitled Old Young, is a feature-length fiction film which will be filmed in the USA and the Caribbean. The Code 13 casting team will spend the weekend holding auditions for children, male or female, between the ages of 5 and 10 to be in the movie. The team will visit primary schools throughout the state and also hold open auditions at the cruise ship terminal on Saturday, May 30th and Sunday, May 31st. That is all we have for Newswatch. Good evening. I am Keisha Woodley.
Two islands and keys are waiting to be discovered. Take a look at us now. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Caribbean you're looking for.
If you've just joined us, you're viewing a presentation of the Agency for Public Information. In our featured presentation this evening, following the December 2013 floods, the government of Ecuador pledged its support in helping to rebuild a number of bridges destroyed by that flood. They kept that promise and work are progressing steadily on these much-needed infrastructure. Last Friday, the API visited the site at Hope, where the Hope Bridge is under construction, to chat with the head of the Ecuadorian Army Corps of Engineers, Major Emmanuel. He speaks about the progress of these bridges and the day-by-day operations of engineers on the projects. Ashish Sam tells us more in the following report.
Ecuador was one of the first countries to empathize with St. Vincent and the Grenadines after the December 2013 floods. The Ecuadorian Army Corps of Engineers are currently in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, assisting with the reconstruction of 4 bridges that were destroyed in the December 2013 floods. Major Manuel Quirambas is the head of the Ecuadorian Army Corps of Engineers.
My government, Ecuador, and the Army Corps of Engineers, like a part of the army forces of the Ecuadorians, we have the intention to building 4 bridges after the disaster in 1913, when the floods destroyed the different roads and different bridges. Thanks to this situation, my government have this intention and give the order to the Army Corps of Engineers. The Army Corps of Engineers from Ecuador sent the 44 soldiers, gears and men to building this beautiful project in this beautiful country.
The API recently visited the site at Hope, where the Ecuadorians reside, while assisting this country in replacing well-needed infrastructure. Before we talked to Quirambas about the construction of the bridges, we chit-chatted a bit about their stay here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
St. Vincent is a beautiful country. We have amazing views, and the people is very kind. We received all support of the people, the friendship of the people, and we stayed in this place very comfortable. But the situation is that we come here to work, and the work in the other hand is very hard because the weather is a little bad for us, and we have a lot of problems with the logistic suppliers in special. But the obstacles is overcome. For this reason we stay here, and we are very happy with the cooperation and collaboration to the government and Vincent people. We have the whole information about the project. These guys do the whole process for show after this how we use the resources from my country. We have the different pictures for the demonstrate what is the process of our country. In this place we control about all of these things to the process. This is my office. In this part, working the technician people, the civilian engineer, my secretary, and my desk. Yes, in this part we take a decision about every day in the planification.
The cultures in both countries are in no way similar. The engineers had much adopting to do.
All cultures are so different because we have other kind of customs and other kind of situations in different things. But the military people receive a training for accept, adapt, and continues enjoying the culture with the other countries. In this case, for example, we have a very good experience with the food because our food is a little different like the Vincent food. Our food is not spicy, no salt, and no sugar. It's different, a lot of rice. But in this moment, we have in my team 4 cookers, Vincent cookers, and these gears join with us to share the different acknowledgement about the cook. And in this moment we have a very good food.
So is it like home away from home?
Yes. It's the Ecuadorian land in middle to the St. Vincent. And we have all symbols, all uniform, we have all customs, we have all flag, and we feel like at home, far to home.
How is the accommodation?
Oh, the accommodation is good. We try to adapt the regular campaments because in my country we use the plenty of space for the campaments, but in our country you have a huge houses, and for this reason we adapted the huge houses for campaments from my team. Let me introduce my chefs, Vincent chefs.
How are you enjoying it? Well, I love it all the way. All the way. I wish I can stay with them forever and ever. Amen. Because they are my family. Especially my boss here. Oh, I love all of them dearly.
And I can taste nice Vincent food.
Not Vincent food, Ecuadorian food.
Okay then.
Only Ecuadorian food.
Yeah, but when I Vincent feel very interesting.
No Vincent food.
You did introduce them to any Vincent dishes?
All the time, but I prefer give them their food. Because they love their own food.
Okay.
Yeah, see.
Do you want something to drink? The most important thing for us is the communication. We have three different systems to the communication with home. One of these is the special phones, because these phones use the satellite system, and the people can call to home like an internal home in my country.
Yeah?
Yes, it's very interesting. The second is between the internet with different smartphones.
Right.
Please, thank you. We tried to adapt the normal house in a space for 42 soldiers.
Okay.
And for this reason, in this place, we set this tent, and we have a special place for food and for meetings and for enjoying too, because this is my screen.
So you project?
Yes,
Right.
I use my project and have the different information and the entertainment.
The mission of the Ecuadorian Army Corps of Engineers is to reconstruct 4 bridges in 8 months. This is no easy task, but Kirambas is optimistic that they will meet the deadline, as 45 of the best of Ecuadorian military personnel were selected for this mission.
Well, it's a difficult mission, but for this reason, the best soldiers stay here. The best people stay here. My country selected the best of my team for accomplish this mission in 8 months. We are building 4 bridges in this period, and the average is to building 2 bridges every 2 months. 1 bridges every 2 months. And we just finished the mission. We accomplished the mission in 23 of June, like our plans. Even with the difficulties. For example, the weather in the first months, we have a lot of problems with the weather, because there are a lot of rains, and we set our work for work in every time. When the weather is bad, we working in all other details can help in the different process during the construction.
So amidst the challenges, you think you'll be able to meet the deadline?
Yes, of course. Against to the different challenges, we finish the project on time, because this is the good characteristic of the soldiers from Ecuador.
Significant progress is being made on the 4 bridges currently under construction. Kirambas outlined the details of the Hope Bridge.
This bridge is, we are very proud about this bridge, because have a different meanings for us. The first one is the biggest bridge in San Vincent, and maybe is the most strong bridges at San Vincent too, because this bridge was constructed with the steel panels, strong steel panels. The designers come from to Ecuador, the techniques come from to Ecuador, and the different parts from to the other countries, but all acknowledgement is from Ecuador. These bridges is 24 meters. The infrastructure is in concrete. The abutments, the walls, the gabion basket walls have the bases with concrete, and the superstructure, the rod, the deck is in concrete too. This deck have supports in concrete beams. I'm sorry, in steel beams. Steel beams, very strong steels, with a special steel for support the different conditions to the weathering special. And this the bridge have other things that add more better conditions for your country. For example, upriver, these bridges have a wall to the steel. The name in Spanish is deflector, and maybe in English is deflector too, I don't know. But this wall in steel support the different impacts to the biggest rock. In the case that the river flood again and come here with the river with rocks or trees or heavy material, this bridge is building for support these difficulties. It's a very strong, it's all prone in your country.
In North Leeward, 3 other bridges are under construction by the Ecuadorian engineers. We were told that these bridges are being constructed to withstand the elements and can last up to 100 years.
Yes, the other 2 bridges have the structure in acro panel 700XS. That is a special designed to the United States, and we received these bridges for ensemble and launch. And we constructed the old different structures for support these bridges, like abutments, like gabion basket walls, for be sure to this structure stay in very good condition for long time. These bridges is for maybe 100 years or more.
So you're certain that these bridges will be able to withstand the elements?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. All these bridges ensemble and have the different conditions for support the weather and the bad climate. And we make the special arrangement for be sure to these bridges stay on site all time. We put the different reinforcement at the bases, different reinforcement to the joint structures for be sure that these bridges stay for a long time on site.
Despite the language barrier, there are Vincentians working along with the Ecuadorians on these projects. Major Manuel Carambas said there is a good level of cooperation between his team and the Vincentians.
The Vincentians is a very good workforce because collaborate with us. The second intention of my country is to share the acknowledgement, to have a know-how about how to building these bridges. For the reason we account with 52 workers from San Vincent workers that are working with us and learn all time, all process, all customs, because for example our custom is working until finish work in a day, maybe 12 hours, 14 hours per day. That is very hard. And the Vincent people adapted with us this other form to join the cultures in the different countries. And we have a very good results because the Vincent people learn a lot of things. I think that the best thing after the bridge is that the San Vincent and Grenadines received the 52 new workers with a lot of skills and a lot of training. The first step is to join the work with the laborers, with the workforce. And the second part is shared the acknowledgement with the technicians in this country. The next week we will receive the visit from a small team from the technical people, civilian engineers. And we start to share the whole acknowledgement about the designs, about the papers, about the different characteristics of my bridges, and the different parts of the process. For example, one of the most interesting part in this process is the process to launch the bridges, because we use the all material, we use all machinery, we use all equipment from St. Vincent. We don't receive support to my country because it's so difficult, the logistic part. But with this equipment, St. Vincent equipment, Vincent people, we accomplish the mission, launch the bridges in a very difficult, very difficult situation, but accomplish the mission. In the last 3 weeks, 3 weeks ago, we have a success with this bridge. It's very proud for us.
The Ecuadorian Army Corps of Engineers mission in St. Vincent and the Grenadines will soon come to an end as the projects are nearing completion. Major Carambas said their experience here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is one they will cherish for a lifetime.
The most important things for me is feel the thankful sense of the people, the neighborhood, especially in Ad Hoc and the Chateau Bel Air, the neighbors from the direct influence of the bridge stay very happy and all time say thank you for your service and thank you for your help, and we feel very good because we understand that we stay in a good way for this proposal to join all countries. My sense to say thank you so much to the Vinci people, because in your country we find part of my country, and my team is very happy to share the time with you and to share the different experience because we understand that between countries that have limited resources, we can help us, and this experience for me and for my team is very important in our life.
Ecuador's decision to assist this country with its bridge reconstruction process is geared towards the enhancement of relationships between both countries. The reconstruction of the bridges by the Ecuadorian Army Corps of Engineers is truly a show of solidarity between Ecuador and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Ashisia Sam reporting for the Agency for Public Information.
A lot goes into shaping an individual, but it all starts here. What may seem to us like simple fun is critical to their education and overall development. It's how they start to define and understand the speech, how they develop their motor skills and hand-eye coordination. Remember, children are never too young to learn. This message was brought to you by the UNICEF Office for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, the Caribbean Child Support Initiative, and this station.
Welcome back to our program. The UWI Open Campus of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is one of 40 campuses serving 17 countries in the region. On our program this evening, I will speak with the head of the site of the UWI Open Campus and marketing assistant, Mr. Ronnie Daniel, about the additional courses being offered. Good evening. On our program this evening, we'll talk about the University of the West Indies Open Campus in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. On set with me this evening is the head of site of the UWI Open Campus, SVG, Mrs. Deborah Dalrymple, and marketing assistant, Mr. Ronnie Daniel. Lady, gentlemen, welcome to the studios of the API.
Thank you very much, Leon.
Mr. Ronnie.
Well, our purpose here this evening is to speak primarily about the new programs which will be introduced at the UWI Open Campus in SVG. But before we even get into all of that, let's talk a bit of the campus, right? The UWI campus of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is now a household name in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and it is one of 40 campuses serving 17 countries. For the purposes of this interview, let's just get into a bit about the history of the Open Campus in this country.
As I think everyone in St. Vincent knows, the University of the West Indies has for a long time been seen as the three campuses, Mona, St. Augustine and Cave Hill. And we also know that the university has reached out to the other communities where there are no physical campus in a variety of ways. We've had the School of Continuing Studies. Before that, we had UWI extramural department. So the university has always been mindful that there are individuals and communities who, for whatever reason, cannot access the physical campuses, and they've always tried to offer an outreach program. So that is nothing new for the university. What is new is that the numbers you mentioned, the 43 sites, 47 I think it is now, in 17 countries, now comprise the Open Campus. So we are a full-fledged campus of the University of the West Indies, known as the Open Campus, so one of 4. At the Open Campus, we try to offer as many of the services as you'd get at the University of the West Indies. However, we are limited in that we are offering online courses, and that's a work in progress, where we've started off with a certain number of courses, and we try to add, as the needs of the community become apparent, we add more and more courses, and Ronnie will tell you a little bit more about what we have to offer now. The whole philosophy behind the Open Campus is to be able to offer to the underserved the opportunity for tertiary level education. And this can be certificates, diplomas, undergraduate programs such as your bachelor's degrees, graduate programs, and now we are proud to say PhD programs can be offered from the Open Campus. So in terms of the University Trust, this is really where it's at. We're online, we're on demand, and we also offer local programs as well.
Well, you've taken into consideration what basically are the roles of the Open Campus and the difference between the residential campuses. Probably, Ronnie, you'd be able to answer this in terms of previously when one looked at online studies, they looked basically on the international scene, not necessarily in this part of the region. So how easy has it been for UWI to market these online courses?
Previously, one did correspondence courses with other institutions outside of the Caribbean, and even just before they come into being of the Open Campus, we offered UWI through the School of Continuing Studies limited courses through teleconferences and so on. With the coming to being of the Open Campus, you now have a varied suite of courses, mainly in the social sciences. And now, because the medium is through the internet, because once you have internet access, or good internet access, you could sign up to the Open Campus and basically do your studies from wherever you are. If you're in Clifton Union Island, if you're in Owea, if you're in Beckway, you can virtually do your studies because of the improved technology. Prior to the Open Campus, one did that through the area institutions, through long-distance correspondence courses. And even when we are talking about the university, we did that in a limited way. Now we have the full capacity to to offer any program basically. And in the next few years, Dion, we will have something that is called or referred to as the virtual university or single virtual university space. Mm-hmm. What that means is that after the site here in St. Vincent goes through its transformation in terms of infrastructural development and so on, the technology will seriously improve so that you'll be able to stay in St. Vincent, and if you're interested, say, in a postgrad at Mona through Carimac, you can stay in St. Vincent and do that program, at least one or two of the courses.
For anyone to enter the university, whether it's open campus or whether it's residential studying, you must meet particular requirements. What are the requirements for entry to both?
Like any other tertiary institution, the University of the West Indies has basically 2 levels of entry where students can be admitted to programs. The normal requirement is that you must have at least a minimum of 5 CXC or 5 subjects, and at least 2 of those courses or subjects rather must be at advanced level. And that could be in a combination of courses or subject areas, depending on what the student wants to do. For example, if the student is interested in medicine, then you have to have, apart from your English, maths, and so on, you must have a combination of chemistry, physics, and biology, certainly at the CSEC level and 2 at advanced level. However, and of course the university accepts its own certificates and diplomas as requirements to entry into programs, and similarly accepts certificates and diplomas of other reputable institutions or recognized institutions. So that's a normal matriculation requirement. There is what is referred to a lower level. I don't like to make that distinction, but for our purposes, for example, you may have someone who is in the employment in the marketplace for 10, 5, 15, 20 years, and all of a sudden decides to do some retraining. The person may not have that combination of 5 and the 2 at advanced level. What we will do in terms of the open campus, and university generally, but through the open campus, is a bit flexible. You may have English and say history and social studies, and you want to pursue any of the social sciences. You may not have maths, or you may not have maths at the required grade. The University of the of the West Indies and the open campus will work with that individual, so that in the case of the maths, the person doesn't have maths at the required grade or not at all, you will be allowed to do a remedial maths course or one of 2 remedial maths courses. Once you pass those, you're good to go, so that you matriculate into, say, for example, the BSc in Management Studies or accounting, depending on the combination of courses.
Our guest in our program this evening, Mrs. Deborah Dalrymple, head of the site of the UWI Open Campus, and Ronnie Daniel, marketing assistant. Mrs. Dalrymple, just before we get into some of the new courses which are being offered to persons interested in this course of study, what are some of the existing programs at the Open Campus?
Right. Okay. Thank you, Dion. Well, initially we had focused primarily on some of the social studies, social sciences courses. So we had, for example, the Bachelor of Science in Accounting, Banking and Finance, and with a minor in Economics. And most of them were of that ilk. About 2 years ago, we had the Bachelor of Science in Youth Work and Social Work. We also had quite a few programs on the Bachelor of Education, with teachers who would have been either, trained or untrained, but wanted to focus perhaps on mathematics or English. So we had Bachelor of Education programs there. About 2 years ago, we added the Early Childhood Education program as well, so that you can have a bachelor's degree in early childhood education and family studies, in addition to the education and leadership, the math, the English for secondary education, and so on. So those were available for quite a while. In addition to that, though, we have certificate level and diploma level courses, which would be in a similar area, but you can say, for example, Ronnie was saying that somebody had 3 O-levels and they've been working in the field and they want to come in. We encourage you to apply. The folks who do the assessment at the registry will decide, okay, you can perhaps come in at the certificate level or at the diploma level, and then you can ladder up until you have the requirements for the bachelor's degree. So in other words, we don't turn anyone away. As a matter of fact, if you come to the open campus and you have nothing at all, we probably help you to get some O-levels. We don't offer it, but we can advise you. So in other words, we say to apply and then we see where we go. One other thing I wanted to add, though, before we get back to the list of programs, is that we've introduced what's called the prior learning assessment. And if you already applied, you're already in the bachelor's program, but you've had 20 years experience as an accountant or as a social worker or as an early childhood educator, we are offering a course called the Prior Learning Assessment Development Portfolio, so that you can in fact come into a program, we help you to set up your portfolio, and then you present that to the university. And that may allow you to get some time off where you don't have to do all of the courses required. You can perhaps go into the second year instead of the first year. So it's like it gives you advanced standing and credits. So in addition to the fact that we take into account that you're a mature person, you're over 21, you've had some experience, and let us see how you can matriculate into a program. There's also the prior learning assessment where you can have advanced standing. So basically we try to reach our students where they're at. If you're just at the level where you want to come up certificates, or you already done your certificate and you want to do your master's degree, we are there as well. We try to advise you as much as we can so that you get the right fit. And the university welcomes, we are there to try to reach out to all of those persons who, for whatever reason, would not normally be able to access tertiary level education. And that is part of what the university does in developing our region.
I note among the new courses introduced is management and education leadership. Ronnie, what are the others?
We have quite an exciting suite of programs for September 2015 into 2016. We now have 6 majors in the management studies at the undergrad level. You now have the option of doing, say, for example, entrepreneurship, international management, financial management, marketing, HR, and tourism and hospitality management. Previously, you were basically stuck with a straight management degree, a management studies degree, or with an option in economics. Now you have the option of choosing one of the 6 majors. That's quite exciting. In addition to those, Dion, we also have 3 new programs. We have the BSc in Political Science for students who are contemplating, who are active on the ground in political parties, or who want to do analysis of our political history. We have a very exciting BSc in Political Science. We also have, for those persons who are interested in social work, who are going into the caring field, counseling, etc. We do have a BSc in Psychology and sociology as of September 2015. We also have at the diploma level, though, a program for the persons in customs brokerage and so on, staff of the customs department. We have a customs management program at the diploma level. On the graduate level, we have another 3. We've added 3 again, master's programs, specialization in general management, marketing, HR, and for persons in the public service, we have public sector management. We have also, for teachers, added Masters of Science in Management and Educational Leadership. Again, that's targeting persons who are in the classroom and who are exploring the option of moving out of the classroom into senior management in our educational institutions. And of course, the 2, for the first time in the open campus, we have added 2 doctoral programs. They're in education, but later on we'll add to that pool. We have, for persons in senior management at or anybody for that matter in education who are interested in moving on. We have a Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership in Educational Systems and Schools, and also Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership in Higher Education. So those are two exciting programs that we've added, targeting specifically persons in the educational field. Apart from these, we have a host of continuing and professional development programs that we have about 44 of them that are being, they're perhaps at the final stage at the moment, and I suspect that sometime in the new academic year they will come on stream.
What about the costs associated with these programs, a certificate, diploma, undergrad, postgrad?
Yes, at the undergrad level, each 3-credit course or 3 or 4 credit course that you do, you pay just 972 EC. But to make that practical, as I said earlier, a typical undergrad program is just about 30,000 EC over 3-4 years, and you could do the maths. It's affordable. It's perhaps, as we like to say, it's perhaps the best deal you could get at the moment when compared to residential campuses, but also when compared to other institutions offering programs in the region. So that's at the undergrad level. The master's programs, for every 3 or 4 credit course that you do, you pay just $1,782, $1,782. If it's a 6 credit, you pay twice that. So you're looking beyond, and a graduate program at the open campus is just about 10 courses. So you're looking at between 17 and 20,000 EC for a graduate program, a master's. So that is exciting. I mean, that is, I don't know anywhere else you could get a good quality graduate program for that kind of money at all. The MBAs in North America are 40,000 and so on, and perhaps more when you include boarding and lodging and other fees. So that it is a very good deal, and the open campuses and the universities as a whole is continuing to extend this, and particularly next year, Dion, we will see the unveiling of some new programs geared towards our young men, because that is an area that the university is looking at, because at the moment, the open campus alone, there's a ratio of 80 to 20 in terms of female enrollment and particularly graduation. Our women are doing exceptionally well when it comes to tertiary education, but our men, so perhaps we are not doing something right, and we are attempting to correct that through the unveiling of some new exciting programs next year, particularly targeting our young men.
And for persons looking at this interview and require a bit more information, how can they get in touch with you both?
Persons could call us at the main office at 456-1183, 456-1183, or they could call me directly at, or my colleague, Mr. David Brown, our technician, at 485-6606, 485-6606. Or they could just simply log on to the site, www.open.uwi.edu, and they could, there's a platform there, they put in a message or ask a question, and even though it goes to Jamaica before we get it, we will certainly get the question or any inquiry, because our marketing department is in Mona, so they will see that before we do.
Okay, well, our guest in our program this evening, Mrs. Deborah Dalrymple, Head of Site of the UWI Open Campus St. Vincent, and Marketing Assistant Ronnie Daniel. The API presentation continues with an exciting edition of the IDC Update. our final presentation. Work is ongoing at the Argyle International Airport at Argyle. And to tell us more about this, here is the IADC's Communications Officer, Jennifer Richardson.
Good evening and welcome to another IADC update. This evening we are not doing the usual on-site update, the progress report for the airport, but we are taking a different look this evening. What we're going to do is that we are going to be speaking with several members of staff here at the IADC. These are some of the persons behind the scene who you do not see all the time, but you certainly would hear about from time to time. And they truly help to make things work around here. Now, let me introduce them to you. I have one of my production assistants, Crystal Bacchus. This is Crystal here next to me. This is young Osric Brown. He is an engineer here at the IADC. And Kamitha John, which a lot of you would have come into contact with already, she is our environmental officer. This evening they're going to tell us about their work here at the IADC, some of the challenges they encounter, some of the joys of working here, and what they're looking forward to most from working here on this Argyle International Airport project. I am going to start with Kamitha. She has a big job. So Kamitha, I just want to thank you for agreeing to chat with us this evening. Tell us, just give a little bit more background about your job and some of the challenges that you face from day to day.
Okay, good evening. Thanks, Jennifer. Well, my job entails the monitoring of the environmental aspects of the construction phase of this project, and at best to mitigate against any negative effects on the environment, and also to liaise with the communities, the surrounding communities. And I also do coordination and documentation as it relates to the archaeological aspect of the project and ensuring that our artifacts are preserved.
And what are some of the challenges that you have encountered? I know there have been many, so in a nutshell, if you can, what we used to say before, précis, right, put it in a nutshell and tell us exactly some of the challenges that you have encountered.
Okay, I'll try my best. One of the major challenges for us on this project, of course, is with regards to minimizing the effect of the construction activities on the surrounding communities. We're looking at a number of communities such as Argyle, Mount Pleasant, Corla, Stubbs, even Victoria Village, Diamond, and the aspect of dust, which of course has come about since we removed the vegetative layer of the area, and we're exposing the earth and loose material, soil and rocks. And in this aspect is challenging most of all because we have to counteract with the weather, the winds, and that's something we have no control over. We try our very best though in ensuring that we dampen the haul routes where our trucks and heavy machinery would pass, and also we try and coordinate with the residents in finding solutions to their problems because we don't have the answers to everything. We ask for their input as best as we can to finding solution or finding ways of mitigating the effects of the dust on their properties. Also, we have some operations ongoing with regards to the blasting, where we have hard rocks, a lot of mountains, Fort Hill, which people refer to as Yami Hill also. I think the elderly folks know it as Old Yard. And we also had some blasting done in the 2nd kilometer for the cargo platform area, and in the 3rd kilometer we have 2 areas now actually. 3rd kilometer, the former petroglyph site, and also the area west of the city fence that's closer to the Argyle Primary School. We've had the challenges there because initially when we started, of course the vibrations would have been felt very strongly by the households in and around. So we make it our business to inform residents in the area and inform the general public of the activities so that they can anticipate the vibrations that they're gonna feel. Sometimes they do feel them, sometimes they don't, and also to ensure that they make sure that they're safe during these activities.
Okay, would you say that you would have developed, generally speaking, a good relationship with the residents in the community, and have you found them to be cooperative?
Very, Jennifer. I'm thinking if I was a resident here, there are some days I don't know how I may have coped, and I think generally people are for the project, and you get overall a very good feedback from them. I mean, it's not every day, it's not the same. But I find that over the years, you deal with people good, they deal with you good. Over the years, we've developed a very positive relationship with the residents, and they're more open towards me when I visit them and when they call and when we provide feedback to them, and I think that has gone a long way for all of us.
Yeah, and we do have to say thank you to the residents around here, because they have really been cooperative. And like I usually say, St. Vincent, all of St. Vincent is making a sacrifice for this project, but the residents around here, they're making an even greater sacrifice, and we are so thankful that you are cooperating with us and that you understand what it is we're doing and what it takes for us to get there. Osric, you're an engineer. Can you tell us what type of engineer you are, because they have different categories, and exactly what are you responsible for around here?
I am a mechanical engineer. I've been here about a year, just over a year. I started with the roads, bridges and culverts team. I was responsible for the designing and construction of the culverts that would be here at the parking lot. This is around here, the drainage culverts. After that, I was responsible for the preparations for the metal culverts that we would be using to span the river, the 220 station and the 191 station. Now, well, that is already in progress and the preparation is ongoing. So I've moved over to the industrial area, which entails the concrete plant, the stone crushing plant, and the asphalt plant. So basically what we do, myself and Yanni Jardine, another engineer here, we do maintenance and basically keep the plants running, keep everything on course and things like that. I have something going with Kamita where we have to keep the dust at the stone crushing plant down because it's affecting our residents. I would say I spend most of my time at the stone crushing plant because it works day and night. So it presents the most challenges because it has the most workload, the greater workload. It is the foundation of the project. It provides all the aggregate material that we need. So most of the work is being done that I would be doing is at the stone crushing plant.
Crystal is one of my production assistants. I have two, Kosan Weeks is the other. And she has been working with me for quite a number of years since I've been here at the IADC. When Crystal came, she basically could do some flyers, you know, but not too much more than that. But since then, Crystal has really grown, and I will allow her to tell you about her work, some of the things that she does from day to day, and how she is enjoying her work here at the IADC.
Okay, good evening. Being a production assistant and working along with Miss Richardson has really done well for me as an individual and for my career. I handle website management as well as social media interactions. I also manage and book tours. I coordinate some of the tours myself, and I have also produced marketing materials for the company that I use not only in the nation but also internationally, whether it be magazines, whatever material that we need to get done.
Now, Crystal has been a little modest. She's really good with the graphics. So when I have my ads to produce for whether they are magazine ads or newspaper ads, this is the young lady that I go to, and she takes care of that. She's had some training and she's really developed a lot in that field. And I believe, Crystal, you're looking to continue the communication field once this airport is finished.
Well, the prospects are still open, but definitely being exposed to the communications field / marketing field has really pushed me to consider staying in that field.
When this is all done, what are you looking forward to most, or what are you looking forward to before the end?
I would really, well, the IADC have a lot of plans for the heritage aspects and the archaeological findings that we have found here along with the National Trust. So I'm looking forward to see how those plans are going to unfold, especially with the Heritage Park that is just on the outskirts of the Argyle Airport site, as well as the Carib Village, which will be along the coastline area just off the airport site.
Okay, thank you very much. Kamita, what are you looking forward to most? I mean, be it prior to the end of the project or at the end of the project, what are you looking forward to most?
Well, not to sound like a copycat, but because I've worked so closely with the SVG National Trust and various groups, archaeological groups, some from the Netherlands, some from Canada and the USA, etc. I am actually very much looking forward to the unfolding where the Ministry of Tourism and the SVG National Trust, along with the IADC, have recently started working towards getting the Escape Heritage Park up and running. It's a lot of work. There's still a lot of things to be dealt with, and also the Cayo Village. So I'm anticipating that while during the operational aspect of the airport, we'll be able to share more of what we found on site during the projects, during the construction phase of the project, to share with not only our locals but the world on a whole.
Okay. Azrek, what are you looking forward to most?
Well, in the immediate future, I'm thinking I've made ideas with the HR department about putting me on the team to set up the luggage carousel and the escalators and so on in this terminal building. So that is slated to begin in maybe next month. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping that I can contribute / learn something from that. So.
Okay, well, as for me, I am looking forward to everybody's work coming together and this airport operational before the end of this year. That is what I'm looking forward to most. I really want to see this airport in operation, planes landing here at the Argyle International Airport, and Vincentians on the whole being truly, truly, truly happy. So we want to thank all of you for coming out here this evening with me to chat a little bit about what you do here at the IADC, and we're looking forward to the others who are working here at the site, making their contribution, working steadfastly and ensuring that this airport is operational before the end of this year, 2015. This is all from us for this evening. We'll see you again next time.
This has been a presentation of the Agency for Public Information. You can join us again next Tuesday evening at 8 for another program. Remember to view our Facebook page at the Agency for Public Information, SVG. If you miss this evening's program, you can view it again on our YouTube channel at Agency for Public Information, SVG. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Dion John wishing you a pleasant evening and a wonderful weekend. And remember to join us this Saturday at 5 for Inside Story.